Hello Internet, I'm Shane Ormond.
And I'm Noel Byrne.
Welcome to Feck Tech, the hottest porn site on the web.
Coming up tonight, unnaturally long pauses.
The plot thickens in Gravy Killer Murders.
And finally, Leitrim tops Lonely Planet's list of places yet to visit. I love doing this show.
Yeah, I really do as well. I've missed you, man. I haven't seen you since last Tuesday.
Mainly for the digs I get to give at Leitrim every now and again. I'm nothing against Leitrim, just for some reason. It just seems like the kind of orphan county that, could take a bit of them in their one set of traffic lights.
Yeah, you do have a hate file in the back. It's very easy to get a joke for Leitrim. We just select out of the millions of things Noel has said about Leitrim.
I've gathered over the last 20 odd years.
Yeah. In those meetings in the back rooms with the black uniforms.
And a sheep, always one sheep. Okay, kicking off this week, we got some social media news. One of the bigger stories from the last 7 days was Twitter launching Vine, their new short video service. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've heard of it twice, in fact.
Well, basically, it enables people to record a short 6-second video. It could be shorter, but up to 6 seconds. And we've got a clip of kind of one here that kind of gives you an example of what people go for. In this instance, they're just going, hey. So it's basically like a GIF that loops, but it has sound. So I was interested when it launched to see how this would be used.
Yeah.
And I thought, singers or artists might use it in some sort of way and work it into a video of, a collection of vines, I presume they're called.
Or they could do like a 6-second song.
Or a 6-second song, or a 6-second short movie, or something like that.
I hate my ex-girlfriend.
That's loads. You could do like 6 lines.
I actually just composed that right there.
We have it on video as well, so we're going to put it up tomorrow. Number 1 on Friday. But unsurprisingly, it has been overwhelmed by porn over the weekend. Just like an endless stream of porn. People are just uploading videos of themselves, mainly men, or videos of them recording porn off a laptop or off the TV.
Well, there is an internet rule like that. If it can porn, it will.
That is what they say. So what makes it kind of interesting, it doesn't go against any rules from Twitter, but Twitter kind of we don't mind you putting it up, but, be respectful and kind of, warn people, or people can mark it as offensive and then they'll put up a warning.
Show your genitals respectfully.
Yeah.
Ladies.
I don't even know what that is. They're tapping themselves with a spoon. Anyways, what the problem is that the app is only downloadable from Apple's iTunes, which is synonymous with being really restricted in terms of they don't want any porn on there. They want a nice, clean app store, unlike Google, who you can pretty much just throw anything on there.
Wall-to-wall genitals, just balls everywhere.
Yeah, and Shane loves it. But the whole thing was, would Apple pull it? I mean, this wasn't like, one of us, no pun intended. But the whole thing was, it wasn't like a small company that uploaded it. This was Twitter, like one of the big tech giants. And recently enough, they pulled down 500 Pixels, which was a relatively big app, and it was quite popular. It was to do with photographing, and obviously, again, a lot of porn ended up on there. So they pulled it down because of the pornographic material in the search results.
With Jobs no longer at the helm, he was the driving force behind the kind of no porn initiative. He was very anti-porn. He thought it was like a plague on the earth and what have you. I honestly think over the next 10 or so years, you're going to see increasingly lapse regulations on porn on Apple things.
The way Twitter approached it is they basically just kind of put a not safe for work kind of section, or hiding all the porn behind it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how it unfolds over the next couple of days. It is still there. Will this be enough for Apple?
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. But in other app news, this week on Facebook, a new app launch called Bang with Friends. And it consists of you being able to install an app, and a list of your friends of the opposite sex come up, and then you go through all their faces and you click on whichever friends you're down to bang. And nothing happens after that until your friends also install this app, and then they go through their friends and they click on the ones they're also down to bang. And then if you click on someone who also clicked on your face, a notification goes to you both, and you both go, hey, you both want the ride, and you meet up and do your thing.
You both want the ride. Want the ride sounds wonderful in your kind of posh Mayo accent. They want the ride.
Coming soon, hey.
In your kind of newscaster accent. Noel Byrne here, she wants the ride.
So, would you use it? Do you think it's a good idea? Is it modern day Cupid?
Obviously not, I am married.
Why did I get a notification from you? Which also means I clicked on your face.
Yeah, that's going to be really embarrassing when you accidentally, click on someone's
Your
face.
mother. Even weirder because she's
back.
Yeah.
No. I think they named it. It was a very classy touch,
But like within the first couple of days of it being launched, and the guy who launched it said that like he had helped paired up like 100 couples. So people were actually using it. I mean, if you want strings-free sex.
Is paired up like, oh, they got together, or they banged?
They banged. They got some hanky-panky.
Yeah, he's also got a record as saying that he's waiting until marriage for sex.
Okay.
So he's not into banging.
He's currently working on an app called Down to Marry.
Down to marry.
Yeah.
Marry her, marry her, marry her.
So whichever,
Get
he gets
engaged,
there.
leave her at the altar.
Yeah. There's a range of apps coming. So I think it's a good idea, in the modern day world of, online dating and whatnot. This is just kind of an easier one.
It seems like it's aimed at the kind of the Jersey Shore crowd, really.
It very much is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see if it grows in popularity. I think I'm interested to, see if any of my friends use it and see if any of them pair off.
I'm more of a traditionalist at heart. I like to send people letters informing them that I want to bang them. It's more romantic.
How's that going for you?
Good. Yeah, married. Remember.
Cool. But moving on to this week's kind of main topic, we're looking at the kind of quirkier inventions from the last week, and you've got this week's first one.
Yes, I do. It's called Manahans.
Manahan.
It's a soap aimed primarily at men, and primarily at men that don't want to smell nice. It's
a big market there for that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, like it seems to be aimed at like 8-year-old boys. Like
You want to smell like men?
Girls smell weird.
It's a funny one because the array of smells you can get, as you can see on screen, there's quite a variety, isn't there?
Cash, topsoil, Republican, cedar log cabin, urinal cakes.
You see, I'm kind of between two minds on the urinal cakes.
You would love to smell like urinal cakes.
Not so much, but they've got one of those smells where it's like, when they're fresh, not when people have been urinating on them all night long.
Yeah.
More of a, that is a nice smell to walk into in the urinal.
It is a very distinctly bathroomy smell, though. So, like, you are going to smell
you're not going to attract a lady. We'll say if you just chosen someone from down to bang.
I would wonder, though, right? If you smell like urinal cakes, would a woman not recognize it? Would they be like, what's that smell? I can't quite place it, because they don't have urinals.
Yeah. But, yeah, there's probably a similar smell in the women's.
Yeah. Do you think they have like urinal cakes or like? There's always like kind of a urban legend that goes around of like a guy who eats urinal cakes for money. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Likes the smell of them though. In other news, revolutionary new product, the Spork.
The Spork.
A new type of Spork, in fact. A spnoof.
Yeah, the name he needs to work on. But I actually, I kind of find the Spork quite useful, but this guy, he took it to the next level.
Yeah, it's a Spork that when snapped in two becomes a fork and a knife.
You see, I thought this was a good idea until I realised you can't click them back together. As soon as they're torn apart, that's it, you're done.
Yeah, no, you have to plan your meal before you eat it, because if you break them and you eat your steak and then someone wheels out the yogurt, you're like, no.
Yeah, your day will be ruined.
Yeah, it would be awful.
But, I think you could take this to the next level again, Spork 3.0 if you will, and get some sort of stainless steel Spork and just cut down on all the cutlery in your house. So you just have the spoon, the knife, the fork, at the other end then you could have a potato peeler, something for cutting steak, and then have some sort of plate bowl, like a boat.
It would be good as well if your house was invaded and you could just hope that something gets them. I've been peeled.
So maybe that's where we should go with it.
We should produce that, and we should get rid of all cutlery, and so everyone would just have one of these, and you'd get your name put on it.
Yeah, it'd be a nice little Christmas gift.
And you get the death penalty if you touch someone else's one.
Oh yeah, that's a bit harsh. North Korea, it would probably work there.
I'm planning on taking the...
Yeah, there's a market there for that. But another product that launched this week is, or at least they're seeking funding for it, is the Pancake Bot, which is basically a guy who had some spare Lego in his house and also a kind of a flat iron bed for making pancakes. He's combined them together and created the Pancake Bot. You can check out pancakebot.com if you want more info.
I was hoping it would be like, an 80s robot and be like, what kind of pancakes do you want, master?
Well, you could substitute it with his very ecstatic children in the video.
Yeah.
They're really, really hyper about this Pancake Bot.
Well, it is being fast forwarded now.
It is, but regardless, they're just still really hyper about it. Basically, it connects to your laptop and you can choose, as you see in the video, if you want a heart or if you want to write a word.
You could write muff.
You could, if you were 12.
There's your breakfast, you cunt. Jesus. Sorry.
So he's trying to raise $8,000
Yeah.
to go to the San Mateo Maker Fair this May.
So he's not even going to make it if he gets the money.
No, this is the thing. He has one product.
Yeah.
And his aim, according to his website, is to help kids get interested in engineering, programming, and food manufacturing. Now, to be honest, it's hard to get adults interested in that. So to get kids interested, he's clearly went Lego.
Well, it's like cigarettes, so you got to hook them when you're young. Lego cigarettes.
It's the next big thing, along with boats.
We're just paying $8,000 to send him to a fair.
His family, and like his wife and his 2 kids.
Can we start a Kickstarter for me to go on holiday?
Yeah, just to Leitrim or something.
Santa Panza.
So there's 32 days to go. You can still add funding on the crowdfunding website Indiegogo.
Yeah.
$8,000 he wants. He currently has a whopping $810. So regardless, he said if he doesn't get up with the money, at least one person is going to go anyway.
Probably him.
No, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But he really wants to get into school programs and kind of generate some sort of buzz. Again, it literally just seems like, hey, if you have a Lego at the house, here are the instruction manuals.
A Lego at the house.
Yeah, just a bunch of Lego.
You were the most Irish person I've ever heard. You have a Lego at the house.
I've got one bit of Lego there now. The other last product this week is actually quite a cool one. It's called the breakfast sandwich maker from Hamilton. It's out this March. It's going to cost around 20 to 25 euro.
Yeah.
And basically, as you can see from the image here, it looks like a small bin/robot thing. So there's kind of 3 compartments to it. And in the bottom compartment, you throw in some of your bread, then you throw in a bit of bacon, a bit of pudding, sausage, cheese, whatever you have.
So it just mashes all the food you put into it together.
You throw it all in together. It basically creates some sort of Mac muffin or a bagel, as you can see in the images there on the right. Then in the middle there, you pop on your fried egg, and you can put it, to whatever type of egg you want, whether it be runny or a hard egg or whatever. And then on the top, you put your last bit of bread. And then when the egg is done to your satisfaction, you whip out the center tray, and it all just kind of squashes down on top of each other to create this nice, not so healthy looking breakfast sandwich. And it takes only 5 minutes.
Yeah. I'd say you could definitely fit because that's a circle. You're not putting a slice of bread in there.
No, but you could put some bread, squash it in.
Just
Yeah, that is the noise it makes.
You could stick a bap in there, definitely.
A bap
That
would definitely work.
Waterford will fucking love this. We should market this to Waterford alone and we'd make millions.
Yeah, we'll get on to our social media guy. He'll be all over it, and they'll be blah central.
They love baps.
They do.
Check us out on waterfordlovebaps.com.
So as I said, it's going to cost 20-25 quid, which is a decent price, and it's out in March. I actually think this could be up there with getting yourself a sandwich maker for the house, like a toasted sandwich maker. It's kind of that route they've gone with it.
Yeah. I like those Breville's. We've had one for years. It's kind of it doesn't really work anymore, and when you plug it in, it gives you electric shock, and when you plug it out, it gives you electric shock too. But we still use it all the time.
I think that's a sign to stop.
It's still good though.
Yeah, I think this will be quite popular. It's definitely, as I said, a good hangover cure.
Yeah.
Just throw everything at it some Sunday morning. It's just make me food.
Have you ever seen Tesco's those you get a can and it's beans and then the egg is in there and the sausage is in there and the hash brown is all in the can with the beans?
I have not seen that.
And you just pour it in the pot and you heat it up and then you just eat it in the corner and cry.
That's how I love spending my Friday mornings.
Yep.
Walking Dead, moving on to gaming news this week.
Yes. I bought this at the weekend. I was a bit dubious about it initially because it's a zombie game. Okay? So if I said to you, hey Noel, I've got this cool zombie game, what do you think you're going to be doing in it?
Just immediately just going to be shooting zombies for like 10 hours.
Yeah, which is cool. I like shooting zombie games, but it's being made by a company called Telltale Games, who are famous for making story games and adventure games.
Okay.
They're trying to bring back like the fad from the 90s, where you pick up like a plunger and you stick it on a duck, and then you try and give it to a policeman so he'll let you on the boat. So like that doesn't really seem to fit the zombie genre, but they've done a very interesting thing with it in that they've put this whole emphasis on story. So you don't really go around picking stuff up. There's one or two things you need to pick up, but you don't need to do wacky stuff with them. It's more this emphasis on choice and interaction with characters. So you have a conversation with them and you're given like the normal time to respond.
You see, I quite like this idea of, interacting with the environment a lot more, and it reminds me of Heavy Rain, which, as you progress through the game's ending was kind of dictated by the choices you made.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of the game, and again, I think that comes with coming from the storytelling background of the producers.
Yeah, and I think the thing about The Walking Dead that makes it really interesting is that it's very much sold like a TV show, in that it actually comes out in episodes. So you buy like 5-hour installments of this video game separately, and then now all 5 episodes of the first season you can buy together. And now I watched the television show and I watched the comic book, and the thing about the comic book is there's a huge emphasis on the fear that you have in that world, and that you're constantly on the move and you're constantly trying to survive. That doesn't really come across as much on the TV show, because you've got budget constraints. If you buy a big prison, you can't be like, come on, let's move on to the next expensive thing. That's how they
Why
talk.
are they hiring prepubescent boys?
Come on! But that sense of danger and survival and constantly having to move was never in the TV show. But you could do that in the video game. You could go to a prison, you can go to a boat, you can go to 3 or 4 different things in one episode.
There's a lot more scenarios unfolding in them.
And because of cast, you can kill a guy, no problem, dead.
Get a new voice in.
Next guy.
I think, as you can see from the trailer we have of it as well, the footage, I really like the animation aspect of it, because it looks kind of, it's kind of quirky, it's kind of cool, it's less... We'll say the animation you might think of in something like Grand Theft Auto, but it looks more stylized and kind of looks more comic booky.
Yeah, you see, they were quite limited graphically with what they could actually do hardware-wise, because they want the games to be accessible, and the way that the action games work, it just doesn't lend itself to that.
So I think what that shot there highlights like a really good aspect of the animation.
They did like an inking kind of the characters, so that they are more stylized, as it were, and they do look kind of more like comic book characters. And it's interesting, if you see some of the characters in the game, they have this weird kind of cross between being a caricature and looking like actual people, like more so than, say, in other video games.
Okay, well, you sound like you're really like for the game. What would you give it out of 10?
I would, currently I'm about halfway through. Like a TV show, the spoilers, man. Oh, my wife is playing it at the moment, and I walked in and one guy was just like missing a hand, and I was like, what? But currently, I'm giving it like 8.5, 9 out of 10.
Okay, why the 1 mark?
It's glitchy.
It's glitchy. A lot of bugs.
Like, my wife can play through an episode and nothing will happen. But then I'll play through it, and then suddenly people are like walking upside down, and like their arms are going like this.
Do you know if there's like a series finale like on TV, or is this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like the reason they've released the first 5 episodes now is because that's season 1.
Okay.
And then I presume they're going to do a season 2, although I haven't finished this, so I don't even know if the main character in this one survives this season.
Well, sure, as you said, they could just introduce a new one anyway.
Yeah, it'd be much easier.
Okay, so 8.5 to 9 out of 10 for that one. This week's final segment is the useless app of the week, which, as always, we try to bring you the worst apps on the market so you can avoid them and don't clog up your phone. After downloading so many for this, my phone has really started to slow down.
Yeah.
I've had to start clearing them out now.
Oh, you mean you've been holding on to them?
Yeah. I have never used Baby Tickler since.
When you were clearing them out, was it kind of like Sophie's Choice? Like, who do I keep? Who do I delete?
Very much not. So as you can see on screen now from this app, it opens up and it looks like a nice little, traditional American family. And then when you touch the screen,
y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband because they raping everybody out here.
So that's just wonderful.
Yeah, I mean that's it. You can touch it again, and it just resets, and you go again. But there we go. You may recognise the voice. It's Antoine Dodson, who was a YouTube sensation with his clip following a news broadcast where someone in the vicinity of his house was raped, and he was talking to the news broadcaster, and he got really eccentric, kind of stereotypically so, and he said, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband, because they're raping everybody all up in here.
He is quite, like, he's a flamboyant gay urban man. He's not very stereotypically...
No, but he's almost stereotypically gay then, in terms of how he acts, and he's very
Maybe
camp.
he's a perfect blend of two stereotypes.
Yes. So that's avoided. It's called Hide Your Kids.
Wait, we're telling people to avoid the useless apps?
Well, download them for a laugh. I mean, I'd give it somewhere like 3 or 4 out of 10, or if you were to do useless, I suppose 0 to -10, like -7, because you do get a few chuckles out of it, but then afterwards it's completely useless.
I think that the useless apps are like probably the best part of owning a smartphone.
Maybe.
Like all this like Google Maps and GPS and
Who needs that?
Give me
I'd rather get lost in the desert.
Give me a farting baby.
That's coming up next week. We're doing Farting Baby. So stay tuned for that. You have to finish us off this week, the crap tech joke of the week.
Yes, I do.
I do believe someone sent in to us.
Yes, Alan from Cork, a journalist, sent us in.
Hey, Alan.
What do you call a Turkish baby?
Oh, I have no idea. What do you call a Turkish baby?
A kebabi.
Oh.
Now wait.
Oh, there's more.
Alan from Cork sent us in another one.
Did he send us in a few parts?
He did.
Okay.
He sent us in.
I got my things.
How do you keep a Turkish baby quiet?
I have no idea.
Shish kebabi. Now, our last joke is from Alan in Cork.
Serial emailer.
And he said, it could be different Alans.
He could be. It's the same style jokes.
He says, what do you call a Turkish baby whose parents died and he's had to be put in a foster home?
I have no idea.
A donor kebabi.
Wow. So thanks for those collection of jokes, Alan and Cork. Don't forget, if you want to get in contact as well, you can check us out on fecktv.com. That's it for this week. We're back next week at the same time at 8 o'clock. And don't forget as well to tune in tonight at 10 p.m. on fecktv.com.